Hey, hey guys, it's Miss Owens again, and we are on day 2 of poetry. And I am so pumped because yesterday was like a little, introduction and just a few of our main vocabulary words. But today we are actually getting to look at some poetry and to break it apart, and we are going to be having a lot of fun. And we're actually going to get to start creating some stuff soon. So I'm really excited. Just a little review here. If you remember from yesterday, you are going to need your reading notebook or your reading skill notebook, and you're going to need a pencil. Now, yesterday in your table of contents, you labeled your page poetry, and today in your table of contents, you are going to be labeling your poem, Help the World. Help the World. It's right here. So in your table of contents for today, you have Help the World labeled. And on your new page in your reading notebook, it's going to say Help the World. And that is the title of our poem that you're going to be working on today. Okay. Once you have titled this in your notebook, you can set your notebook aside and you get to just listen with me and follow along with me and have some fun. Okay. Let's review what poetry is. It's a collection of words that express an emotion, so how you feel, or an idea, sometimes with a specific meaning, sound, or rhythm. And then we learned that there's 4 key elements of poetry. There's rhythm, there's rhyme, there's a line, and there's stanza. Those are 4 key things. And we said rhythm is the quality and the beat that goes along with the poem. Rhyme is the words that have the same ending. A line is where the text ends in the poem. And a stanza is a group of lines that are together. Now, today I am super excited because we are reading one of my favorite poems. You guys are going to love this. So, over here, you can see that I have my poem on the side, and then this little guy right here is probably one of my, I say this about everything though, so I shouldn't really say this, but it's probably one of my favorite things. And if you don't know what this is yet, or if you forgot because you just haven't done it in so long, don't worry. Miss Owens is here and I will help you save the day. This thing is called a brace. And a brace goes along with our thinking map. That is the brace map. And a brace map takes a whole of something. So, for in this example, a whole poem. And then you can break apart the poem over here. Ooh, and when I did that, I just realized there's something else I forgot to break apart. Ooh, it's going to be good. Okay, so we get to add that in a second. So a brace map is used by this brace right here, and you have a whole something. You could have a whole picture, you could have a whole soda can, you could have anything, and you break it apart into little pieces over here. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're breaking apart our poem to see what the different parts of a poem are. So here's my favorite poem that, I can remember from when I was in school. It is titled Saw My Teacher on a Saturday. And this one's really popular in class because the kids can really relate to this one. So think about if this has ever happened to you guys. Saw my teacher on a Saturday. Saw my teacher on a Saturday? I can't believe it's true. I saw her buying groceries like normal people do. She reached for bread and turned around, and then she caught my eye. She gave a smile and said, "Hello." I thought that I would die. "Oh, hi. Hello, Miss Appleton," I mumbled like a fool. I guess I thought that teacher types spend all their time at school. To make the situation worse, my mom was at my side. So many rows of jars and cans, and so little room to hide. Oh, please, I thought, don't tell my mom what I did yesterday. I closed my eyes and held my breath and hoped she'd go away. Some people think it's fine to let our teachers walk about, but when it comes to Saturdays, they shouldn't let them out. That is hilarious. I hope that that doesn't happen to any of you guys. Um, and I'm sure that you can relate. Think about it. Have you ever seen your teacher on a Saturday or just in general outside of school? That's happened so many times. I remember when I saw my teacher outside of school, and I was so shy and embarrassed to tell them, hey, outside of school. But then when you get inside, you're so comfortable. Isn't that true for a lot of us? So, after reading this poem, saw my teacher on a Saturday. Now, we're going to break it apart. We're going to see if you guys remember what a stanza is, what some rhyming words are, or what that means, and what a line is. So, think right now and look at your poem, saw my teacher on a Saturday, and think, okay, what is a stanza? What did I say a stanza was? Think about it real quick. If you're thinking that a stanza is when you have a group of lines put together with a space, you are absolutely right. Give yourself a little pat on the back. So I'm going to just take the first stanza from this poem and I'm going to start breaking apart my poem. Are you ready? So here's my first stanza right here. It says, saw my teacher on a Saturday. I can't believe it's true. I saw her buying groceries like normal people do. And that is my very first stanza. So I'm going to bring it over here, and that is my first part. Now, the next thing I have are rhyming words. So go ahead and look at our poem, Saw My Teacher on a Saturday, and see if you can find some rhyming words. There's a ton. If you looked at your poem and you saw the words true and do, that's correct. Those both rhyme. What if you saw the word I and I? Do those two words rhyme? Yes or no? If you said yes, give yourself some clicks or give yourself a clap. You got it right. Good job, guys. Good review. All right, next up, we have a line. And a line is when the text ends in a poem. So it's when the text ends. Text are the letters and the words when it ends. So go ahead and look at your poem and find one line and read it in your head. Now, once you've done that, I'm going to find my line that I have, and I did the very first line, made it easy. And I did, saw my teacher on a Saturday. Now, I've broken my poem apart into 3 parts. There's lots of other parts. You also could break it apart like this. I could have the illustration. That also is a part of this poem, and I could bring that over here. What's another thing that's super important that I did not bring over, but I can? Who could tell me? If you said title, then you are absolutely correct. Good job, guys. Yeah, so I could bring over saw my teacher on a Saturday because poems have to have titles also. So we have our title, we have a stanza, we have a line, we have rhyming words, and we even have an illustration in this poem. Some other things we could do are, look at this. I'm going to have to make my pen really small. What about these things right there? And this thing right here, who knows what it's called when you have those things? If you said punctuation, you are correct. You have to have correct punctuation. So we have lots of different parts of a poem. Let's see if you guys are ready to see if you can find some parts in your poem. So here's where you're going to need your notebook. Grab your notebook now, and we titled it Help the World by Neil Levin. And this poem is super small. I picked a small one for a reason because you're going to have to do some writing. And I know you guys don't like to write a lot, but you're big kids and you're in 3rd grade, and I know you can do it, okay? So the very first thing is let's listen to Miss Owens read this poem first, and then I'm going to let you start, okay? It says, help the world, a garden full of friendship and a river full of joy, a land of life and liberty for every girl and boy, a planet full of freedom, full of peace and full of fun. These are things I hope that I can help the world become. I chose this poem because I thought it was perfect for what's going on right now in our world. And I think everyone wants to help our world always. And that is our job as citizens. So I thought that was perfect because um, we just learned about that lesson in our social studies books also. So first thing we're going to do is in your notebook, it says step 1, copy one stanza of this poem into your reading notebook. Copy one stanza of this poem into your reading notebook. And go ahead and pause this video now so that you can copy that stanza. Be sure to copy it exactly how it's written. So if this is one line, then you need to skip down to the next line to write the rest. Now, once you've done step 1, go ahead and do step 2. In that stanza, circle one line in the poem. Choose any line you'd like and circle one line in your poem. Good job. Now, step 3. Let's see if you really know your vocabulary words. It says place a box around 2 rhyming words in your poem. So, place a box around 2 rhyming words. So really you're going to have 2 boxes. Box in 2 rhyming words. So my page and your page may look a little different, and that's okay because I'm on a computer and you're using a notebook. But let's go ahead and Miss Owens is going to see what some of you guys could have your pictures or your poems look like in your notebooks. So let's pretend that I am there with you and you did this stanza. You chose stanza number 1. All right, stanza number 1. A garden full of friendship and a river full of joy, a land of life and liberty for every girl and boy. Now, if you chose stanza 1 or stanza 2, you got it right. Good job. Then it says circle one line in the poem. So I'm going to circle any line. I'm going to choose this line because I think it sounds really neat. A river full of joy. Can you really have a river that's full of joy? No, you can't. You can't have a river full of joy. It's definitely just telling us that our world is full of joy, that it's going to continue flowing, that we want the joy to be never ending. Now, our last direction says place a box around 2 rhyming words. So I'm going to switch colors now, and I'm going to choose my 2 rhyming words. So I have joy, and I have the word boy. Now, if you chose a different stanza, for example, if you chose the second stanza, you could box in some different things. But as long as you have a stanza and you have a line circled and you have 2 rhyming words boxed in, then you guys are professionals. Awesome job. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, I know we're not there to see your work, but I'm trusting that you guys are big kids and that you followed along with me. And that is all I'm asking you to do, is to follow along with me. So great work, guys. You are rock stars. Now, after you've done that, we have one question, and I want to see if you understood what this poem was asking. So it says, what does the poet hope for in this poem? A, he hopes he can play in the river with his friends. B, he hopes to plant a garden in the spring. C, he hopes to travel to other parts of the world. Or D, he hopes to make the world a better place to live. Pause this video right now so you can think about it. And if you even need to look back at your poem or your stanza that you wrote, see if any of that evidence can help you. And I'm going to flip back also. Now that I've looked back at my poem, what do I think the answer could be? You can write it in your notebook if you would like. A, B, C, or D. If you said that we could slash A, then you were correct. He hopes he can play in the river with his friends was definitely not in our poem, was it? If you said to slash B, he hopes to plant a garden in the spring, then you're right. Good job, guys. You rock. Last up, if you slashed C, he hopes to travel to other parts of the world, then you are soaring because our answer and the only thing left is D. He hopes to make the world a better place to live. Now let's think. What's some evidence that would tell us he hopes the world's a better place to live? You can pause the video here if you need to think about it for a second. I know one example of making the world a better place to live would be a garden full of friendship and a river full of joy, because friendship and joy definitely would make the world a better place. What would be another one? I'll use a different color. A land of life and liberty would also show us how to make the world a better place and to help the world. A planet full of freedom, full of peace and full of fun. Those all would make the world a better place. Anything else? Oh, look, he even said, help the world become. He wants to help the world become a better place. If you found all of the same evidence as me, you guys are on the right path. I'm so proud of you. Now, today we are just doing this with our poetry, and I'm so proud of you for how hard you've been working. We broke apart a poem today into different parts using our vocabulary words. We even got to find some words that Miss Owens didn't put on here, like illustration and title. Those are perfect to add. We also had our own poem, and we got to identify the stanza, the line, and the rhyming words. And tomorrow, oh, and we even got to do a comprehension question and see if we understood what the poem was about. Tomorrow, we get to do an even more fun activity, and I'm really excited to get started on it. So, what I want you to think about for tomorrow before we get off here is go ahead and think about if you've ever read a poem before and, what was that poem about? Did it rhyme? Did the words not rhyme? Was it long or was it short? Or was it even a poem about just one thing? It wasn't about helping the world. Was it just about a car? Or was it just about your house? Those are called themed poems. We're going to get to do those later on this week also. So I hope you guys have a great night. And I had so much fun today making this video for you guys. We miss you so much. And I will see you on our video tomorrow.